What's up, guys? It's me, Emily G, back at you again with another commentary, talking, vlogging, whatever kind of video. Just wanted to talk about some changes that are coming to YouTube because I've been here on YouTube for a while, if not as a creator for the last 1 or 2 years. I have been on YouTube really all through, I guess 2014 was pretty much when I started coming to YouTube, and that's when I really got invested. I don't watch TV, I watch YouTube. It makes me feel like I'm helping small creators. And I don't know, it's more real to me, right? And it's nicer to support an individual, I think, than like a big network. So, but that's my opinion. Anyways, let's get into today's topic, which is the changes that YouTube has just announced. And I want to talk about it real quick because it's very interesting to me. I know that YouTube is always coming out with different changes and policies and things. But I feel like this could be a big one and not a lot of people are talking about it. I don't know if it's a step in the right direction or it's holding us back. I want to have a discussion, right? And I forget where I saw this. I feel like I saw this on YouTube, and YouTube, the channel itself, had posted like a community post. But I went back just now and I couldn't find it anywhere. And it's mostly just like a curl up with your favorite book and YouTube video, or what topics do you like to discuss the most? Like just like your general stuff. And I always do find it funny, kind of side note here, I always do find it kind of funny that like if you go on the comments of any of the community posts by YouTube itself, maybe 60% of them are stop the AI slop, which is valid AF. 30% of them are ban Sniper Wolf, right? Rightfully so. I also think that's valid. Sorry, not sorry, girl. You were committing crimes outside of terms of service violated, right? We can get into that on another day. Let me know if that's something you want me to talk about, because I absolutely will. Sorry. I'm trying to stop like the mouth sound kind of thing. I know that people hate that, and I don't realize that I'm doing it until I watch this video and these videos back, and it's really starting to bother me. So I'm trying to stop it. I'm sorry. I will get so much better. But damn it. Excuse me. Can I curse on here? I don't know how many seconds into this where I'll bleep that part out. But anyways, I thought this was a very important change. And wait, I just skipped ahead. I was talking about the comments. Comments on any of the YouTube posts, crazy, totally valid though, just crazy in like a wow, this is super valid way. Can't believe that YouTube's not like listening to these or anything. Seems like they don't really, I mean, at least they don't scrub the comments. That's kind of helpful. But it really seems like the media team, like, are you going to get on this? Because it seems like the audience wants the same thing in every post. And I say go for it. Keep going in those comments. Tell them you don't want Sniper Wolf or AI. Let's do it. Let's make that 100% of their comments. So I want to talk to you guys about the new policy change that had come out that I had seen. I don't know where I saw it. I thought I saw it on YouTube, but I guess I did not. So I want to read this little snippet from techcrunch.com, and they're basically summarizing a video that YouTube, the platform, the channel itself on the platform came out with. I don't know if they had like a representative or a newer CEO talk about the changes. I never watched the video. I had just seen it summed up somewhere. And since this is like the society where we only read headlines now, I feel like I got a pretty good gist. So I'm gonna be honest, let's go for it. It says, YouTube is updating its advertiser-friendly content guidelines to allow more videos on controversial issues to earn full ad revenue as long as they're dramatized? I thought it was dramatized, but I could be wrong. As long as they're dramatized or discussed in a non-graphic manner. Now, what I had read specifically about this, because I had to look into what they meant by dramatized. I thought they meant like telling something very exaggerated, like kind of like No Shade, Tana Mojo, right? Like how she will tell a story and clearly it's very like high up over the wall, like a little kooky, which is No Shade. It's an interesting story to tell. I thought that's what they meant, was to kind of make it like not a big story, but not just to lay it out there, like add a little bit of your own sprinkle of something in there. Give us a story, right? I don't know why they would have wanted that. That's not what it means. When they mean dramatized, what they mean is fiction. So these topics that I'm about to list off to you, YouTube is only going to allow you, the creator, or whoever, to stay monetized in those videos if you're talking about something completely fictional. I have a problem with that. Let's talk about it in a second. I want to finish reading this. Quote, "These controversial topics include," please forgive me, I'm going to have to try to censor some of these because I want the algorithm to pick up this video. It does not represent how I feel about these topics. I think we should talk about them, but I unfortunately have to say a little bit censored here so that you can understand what I'm saying without this video getting shut down. I hope you understand. These controversial topics include self-harm, abortion, unsubscribing from life, domestic and sexual abuse. So far, that's it. YouTube notes that content on child abuse or EDs will remain ineligible for full monetization. Now, Now, we have a problem with this. And by we, I mean the royal we. I have a problem with this. I'm happy to hear that YouTube is making some changes when it comes to being a little more lenient on who can get monetized, because at the end of the day, it's not completely about the money. When your channel and your videos stay monetized, the algorithm will pick it up more and send that out to more people who need to see it, who want to see it, right? If any kind of restrictions or not strikes even, but like my stuff, I've had shorts get shut down in Belarus, Russia before for whatever reason, like a territories, not copyright, but territories restriction kind of thing. I don't have a big audience to begin with, so I'm not particularly worried about Belarus. Shout out to all of you, I guess. But what happens is when a restriction is put on a video, it shuts the algorithm down a little bit for it, and it doesn't get out there as much. Even if that audience I have in Belarus, Russia, that apparently doesn't exist, weren't able to see that, it doesn't promote the video as much. And so I'm happy to see that these topics are... They're becoming a little more lenient with these topics when it comes to discussing them, and hopefully the algorithm will still pick these up and show it to people who need and want to see it. My problem is that now it's about dramatization and fictional and less graphic. And the reason I'm worried about that is because the people who are talking about these, there's, I guess, two different kinds of videos in which people talk about these things, right? Like ABUSE or... I don't want to say sewer slide. I've heard people saying that's such a silly, stupid term for it. But unsubscribing from life is also a really stupid term for it. I just don't want this video to get shut down. I want people to see this. And mind you, I really will get this video flagged or not promoted or whatever. And we need to talk about this, right? I would also wish that YouTube would fix that on the platform, but they won't allow us to say words for some reason. Anyways, it bothers me that it's about dramatization, fiction is what I'm going to call it, and not being graphic, because the people who are talking about these, it's one of two, right? It's people who are talking about their own personal, non-fictional experience that's, personal to them. It was their experience, what they went through, whether it was in court, not in court, whether it just happened, it happened to them a long time ago, whether they've talked about it before, or whether it's breaking news, right? Whether the perpetrator is alive, no longer with us, whether they have been criminally charged, whether they're already in jail. It's their story, it's theirs to tell. It really shouldn't be censored in any capacity. It's their experience. It's not fictional, right? We're to believe it's not fictional. So I don't understand why YouTube would want to shut that down, right? I feel like you have a right as a person to talk about what's happened to you. And so if something so terrible has happened to you, why are we afraid to hear it? Because we didn't go through it. And I'm sure it was much more painful for you to go through than it was for the video to get promoted and people to hear you talk about your experience, right? Oh, I don't, that's upsetting to me. And I get it. Some people can be triggered by things. And if so, then you can click off, right? But it should be available for those who want to hear your story. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm being outlandish here, but I think it's very insulting to people who have gone through these things and experienced these you know, disorders or traumatizing things, for them to hop on their own platform and say, oh, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm going to talk about this thing that happened that changed me as a person and I feel deeply and passionately about. And YouTube's going to say, we actually don't like that it's a real thing that happened to you. You can only talk about it if you're making it up. We don't want to hear it. How disgusting is that? How disgusting is that, really? And I'm not like the voice of God here for everybody. I feel like most people probably feel this way other than YouTube because they're the machine, right? I feel like most reasonable people would understand why this is a terrible, terrible idea. Secondly, with the graphic, I can try to understand that from a YouTube perspective. I'm gonna blow my nose. This is my channel. I'll do whatever I want. Thank you. Second of all, from like a YouTube perspective, I understand why the graphic might be a little bit of a problem, right? You could get into images, you could get into videos, this, that, you could be talking about it graphically. All of this is subject to scale, right? In that, depending on who is moderating the video or the channel from YouTube, whether it's AI, because let's be honest, YouTube AI is doing most of the checking for channels. When I submit this video to publish, I'm gonna get something on the screen that says running checks, and it's gonna say 10%, 15, 20%, this, that, 100% check mark, nothing found wrong in the video. That's AI, honey. That's AI. There's not a person behind there sitting and watching the video and going, It's running through AI. They're analyzing what I'm saying. It's being pulled into like a text generator of my voice. It's very scary now that I say it aloud, and it's always been very scary. It's creepy, right? But for this subject specifically, AI is the one who's interpreting how graphic this is. And if it's not, and it really is a person, which is much better in my opinion, people are different. People think that some photos are graphic, that others might not think. And how do we get judged fairly on that? What are the guidelines, right? Like, if I'm talking about a story that happened to me and I want to show a photo or I want to talk about it in detail, how am I supposed to check that before I say that? Now I feel like I can't talk about anything because I'm worried my thing's too graphic. Now I can't share my story, right? I can't share it because it's not fictional, right? Like, I have such a problem with the way that YouTube handles these topics, because to say, oh yeah, like you can earn money from it if it's fake and if it's not graphic, and it's like, I guess you don't want me to talk about it at all, huh? You know, I don't know. It's a little annoying to say the least. And again, like scrolling through here, like, you know, YouTube's been easing up on its policies lately. But specifically when I hear that, I think back, because I try to keep up with YouTube's policies and different alerts and things. As far as I can remember, most of it has to do with eligibility and monetization, which they have made some wild improvements, in my opinion. And they've also done some other things that I really, really strongly hate. Like the use of AI and not banning AI on the platform and not regulating it at all. And letting AI analyze people's videos, and oh my God, letting AI shut people's whole channels down, full channel strike and not banned, but full channels are being struck down because AI has flagged it as something that it is provably not. I like can't even give you one example because there's so many out there, but I have just, my Twitter is flooded with these smaller creators who unfortunately don't have as big a platform, right? And they can't speak up about it. And it's just like, if my channel were flagged by AI right now and shut down, there's nothing I could do about it. And, you know, I don't make money or anything from here right now. I'd like to in the future. But like, should my channel get shut down, who do I complain to? Do I call YouTube CEO? Do I, oh, you send an appeal. Repeal's ejected because AI said, you're wrong. Can I talk to a real person? No, it's just, I feel very strongly on it because when does it end? When do I get to talk to a real person and prove all of this wrong? But instead we're just going to trust the computers. They can do no wrong. Nothing is incorrect. I hate to use the word dystopian because it feels very overused, but I think it's appropriately used, and we're just overly dystopian. So hate to be like that, but I'm right. I'm sorry, I'm correct. So I don't know. At the end of the day, they've made some good changes. I think maybe this is a tiptoe in the right direction, because it's like, hey, you might get partially monetized for something as long as you talk about it how we want you to talk about it. It's like, okay, it shows that maybe they're open to a discussion and hearing some consumer and producer feedback when it comes to creators. It's a little tilt in the right direction, but it's not like a, hey, you can talk about your stories. And I understand there are limitations to things, and words have an impact on people. And if you have, say, a younger audience, or if you have a video that's not made for kids, that makes it into the child algorithm, and a child watches a video that is too advanced for them in the topic and it's upsetting to them, I understand where this could all go. I just feel like I'm not in charge of YouTube. It's not my job. It's easier said than done for me, but at the same time, I didn't sign up to figure it out. YouTube did. Whoever's at the top right now, whoever's in charge, you guys signed up to figure out how to do all this, and you said you would, and now AI is taking over the platform and people can't talk about their own personal lived experiences. I just feel like that's where my head is with it. Let me know down below in the comments if I'm wildly off here. Let me know if I'm being too harsh, too lenient. I feel like maybe I'm being a little lenient because there's definitely a few colorful words that I would love to say when it comes to YouTube. I don't know. I understand the side of wanting to err with a little caution, and to not upset people who aren't ready to hear other people's stories. But when I say it aloud, it's not their story, right? Like, let the person who's talking about their experience talk about it without feeling like they have to be so regulated. All of these subjects can be talked about if they're dramatized, if they're fake. Huh? That just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me. So, like I said, comment down below what your thoughts are. I want to get a discussion going. And yeah, that's about it for now. Let's have a discussion on it. Let me know if there's any other topics you guys want me to cover. I know I don't always cover much at all because I'm newer to this, but I hope not to cover all different YouTube policy changes, because YouTube changes their policy quite frequently. They're always adding something, they're always taking away something, adjusting something. They really do stuff quite frequently, and so it's helpful for me to be following this. I feel like this was a little bit bigger of an update because it's on a topic, maybe personally, that I watch. Like, I feel like the people I watch have had lots of shared experiences as victims of ABUSC, and so when I see this topic being adjusted on YouTube, I think, wow, that's going to affect a lot of big creators that I know. And hopefully they can still have their videos be seen. Hopefully it doesn't shut anything down. But again, any policy change nowadays that happens, it just makes me a little nervous, because I know that it's not a person behind the screen who's going to take these new policies into consideration. It's a robot. It's AI. It can't make decisions. It can't feel regret. It is a computer. And once your channel gets shut down or flagged, there's really no coming back from it. So on that note, make sure you like and subscribe, and hopefully we can build a channel. I appreciate all the love on my recent videos. I will see you guys in the comments. Make sure to let me know where you're watching from, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.